So let's take a look at my rankings, which more or less match up with the Associated Press rankings, which is a great way to get us started into the direction we think the college football playoff is going to go. We both have Georgia at number 1. I think that part is self-explanatory after what they did to Tennessee. I have Ohio State at number 2. They have Ohio State at number 2. Same thing with Michigan at 3. Those are interchangeable. We'll get to see which one of those teams is the better of the two on November 26th. Very excited about that. Also, we all thought that, Clemson, the way that I looked at it was Clemson decided that they wanted to rank Texas Christian at number 4. And they decided that, more or less at kickoff with Notre Dame. And after Notre Dame blocked a punt and then returned it for a touchdown. And then after Cade Klubnik came in and threw a pick. And then after DJ Uiagalelei threw a pick 6. Yeah, and after they gave up 265 yards rushing to Estime. And Drew Pine is also got a win against an undefeated Clemson, which I'm sure is going to gall Notre Dame fans to no end because now you have a quarterback controversy. Tyler Buchner comes back. However, Tennessee stays inside of the top 5 for them. I dropped them to 6. I think Oregon is a better football team, which is something else that's wild to think about, knowing how it started for Oregon and how it's going, right? We really need one of those TikToks to go on there. Also, I have Texas in here at number 16. They had them at number 18. I had to make sure I was right there. Both of us, I was ahead on having Liberty in my top 25, but now they have decided to put Liberty in the top 25 because that's what happens when you go down to an SEC stadium, particularly SEC West, and you get a W. That's what Liberty did. I'm going to be so happy when Auburn fans decide they want to back up a dump truck to Hugh Freeze's house, and we're back to get yourself a burner phone. That's going to be a lot of fun. Notre Dame at number 20 is where we need to start the discussion today. All right. I did not rank Notre Dame in my top 25 because we might need some sound effects for this, but I'm on villain mode right now, which is kind of nice because I've been really, really looking for a good reason to put on the black hat to go Breaking Bad. And Notre Dame has given me this opportunity, which is wild because I wanted Notre Dame to be good in the worst way. And you burned me. You burned me pretty bad. You burned us all pretty bad. All right. So you got Notre Dame at number 20 off the strength of beating an undefeated Clemson. Good for you. That's nice. That's real nice. I'm happy that you were able to beat a Clemson team that doesn't actually have a quarterback because they played 2 in the second half and they still don't know who the guy ought to be. And we're going into the second week in November. All right here. Now, also in here, Notre Dame put the money in the bag, 26-21 to Marshall, $1.25 million they got bodied for the bag in Marcus Freeman's debut in South Bend. I can't let that go. I won't let that go. You got bodied by Marshall. You got bodied by McConaughey Marshall, by We Are Marshall. No. So that's one. The second one is Stanford stands for we beat Colgate. No disrespect to Rob Stone. Colgate. We beat Arizona State, who fired their coach after losing to Eastern Michigan. And we beat Notre Dame. You see how 2 of these are not like the other? Stanford has the opposite win ratio of Notre Dame this year. They are 3-6, and it's going bad over there in Palo Alto, okay? Going so bad that I'm not even sure that we get to consider Stanford as a Pac-12 school this year because it just feels like, that's a money in the bag game right now. That's how bad they are. That's how bad the tree is. You lost to that team. You lost to Ohio State, which fine, cool. You had one boss battle inside of your NPCs where you got sniped by 2 campers with the radar on. You know what I'm saying? Like, where are we dropping in, boys? Oh, did I just get shot while parachuting in, which is impossible, but somehow Notre Dame did that. And then we have last night. So cool. Great for you. That's awesome. You run the rest of November. You go undefeated in championship November. You can talk to me about a top 25. Until then, don't lose to Marshall and don't lose to Stanford in a bad year. Okay? I don't want to hear about it. Also, a point was raised to me. Notre Dame is perfect against ACC competition, 27-0. To which I asked this: what good is being 27-0 in the ACC if you can't win no natty? And I'm not asking that question so much as Brian Kelly is. Really, maybe Notre Dame joins a conference, maybe the ACC, instead of having an open marriage with the ACC, where you get to play and win national championships. Because frankly, I would rather that you go get beat down by Clemson in an ACC title game than waste my damn time in the Cotton Bowl. Which is a great way to also say, let's talk about LSU being ranked ahead of USC. Now, as many of you watching the show will actually just see, right? I'm wearing my gold jacket and my purple turtleneck. The reason I'm doing that is because I saw Steve McNair throw up the hooks and I knew that I was going to be a Q. However, it goes with the party of the day, which is inside the Fox family. We're very happy for Joy Taylor and her nephew, Mason Taylor, who are LSU Tigers, who got a great win against Nick Saban, handing Alabama just their second regular season loss before Thanksgiving since 2010 in Brian Kelly's year one. Really awesome stuff for them. Now, LSU ranked at 7 ahead of USC, UCLA doesn't make much sense to me because, well, one loss is fewer than two losses, and LSU lost a squeaker. I almost did it again. Lost a squeaker against Florida State, right? And then got handily beat by Tennessee. And then we saw what happened in Tennessee against Georgia. That is not to say that LSU is not a good football team. I just don't think that they're the number 7 team in the country. Really, we're squabbling, right? I think that one loss ought to matter inside of a Pac-12 conference, even though the Pac-12 has not had a representative in the college football playoff in 5 years. It's not really that big a deal, except to say, I think we're overlooking just how good or bad the play has been in the Pac-12, a la USC losing to Utah, right, which is a good football program, and Oregon basically running through their Pac-12 competition since losing by 46 points to Georgia. Okay, last point to raise here is that Washington got ranked only to get ran. Like, I'm in a group chat with Georgia fan, a Ducks fan, and a Washington fan. And it's always funny to me because the Pac-12 dudes are always ganging up on the SEC dude and the Big 12 dude, soon to be an SEC dude. But the reason I point this out is because this is Washington-Oregon week, and that game is in Autzen. And Bo Nix has, frankly, been putting on a Heisman-level performance since week 1. So much so that we're probably going to have to start talking about him in a very real way as being a contender for the Heisman Trophy. So I didn't want to rank Washington only to see them get beat by Oregon and dropped out of the rankings. I tried to do a little bit of future proofing here, which is why you'll see Baylor at number 25, because I looked at the schedule. Baylor still got games against Texas Christian and Texas left and could play itself into the Big 12 championship game, quiet as it's kept. I got Coastal Carolina and Central Florida there because, well, Coastal Carolina is a one-loss program and UCF has 2 losses, but also beat Cincinnati and probably is in the driver's seat to play Tulane, who I have ranked at number 17 as we're talking about group of 5 schools not named Liberty. I thought that perhaps at 20, Kansas State deserves more recognition because their losses are to good football teams, or I should say the teams that have been or are ranked, right? Talking about Tulane, talking about Texas Christian, and then Saturday against Texas. All right. This is also a good way to say we're going to see what the College Football Playoff Selection Committee thinks about these rankings on Tuesday, for which we will have a live show about 15 minutes after they reveal the number 1 team in college football, which we all know is Georgia. So maybe it'll be a little bit sooner there, but you can see it on our social channels, Twitter and YouTube, for starters there. And of course, you'll be able to listen to it on the podcast the very next day. Thank you for watching the number 1 college football show. Please remember to subscribe to the channel and like this video so that you don't miss any of the best college football coverage in America.